Can you expound a little bit more about that research that you're describing in terms of that the math pattern thinkers versus the word thinkers and the visual thinkers? Can you just give us elaborate a little
Well,
bit about that?
there's quite a few studies, and in the visual thinking book, I have a whole chapter just on the science, and where most of the research has been done is differentiating the object visualizer, people like me that think in pictures, from the more mathematical pattern thinker. And in autism, you tend to get the extremes. A lot of so-called normal people are mixtures of the different kinds of thinking, where the autistic kid will tend to be an extreme. Now, one of the difficulties I have, since I think in pictures, is doing algebra. That's going to be a great barrier to a lot of kids. When they get older, on the fully verbal end of the spectrum, you can have visual thinkers, extreme visual thinkers like me, good at mechanical things, art, photography, visual types of things. Art and mechanics go together. You can have an extreme mathematician, pattern thinker, and you can have word thinkers that will know everything about their favorite subject. It might be, certain types of movies, and they'll just know everything about it. And we need to be developing the child's strengths where they're really good at things. And these strengths are going to show up around 5 or 6 years old, usually, not in 3-year-olds. And I'm seeing too many kids today, they're growing up not using tools, they aren't learning hands-on things. And a lot of these autistic kids really thrive building things, doing all kinds of hands-on activities. That's one of the reasons why I've come out with my children's project books like this, Calling All Minds. We need to get these kids off the tech and get them out doing real things. So skilled trade for my kind of mind is a very good option. And these are jobs that will not get replaced by artificial intelligence. Somebody still is going to have to fix elevators. That's not going away. Even if AI controls the elevator, it's still either hydraulic or it lifts on a cable. That's not going to change for a long, long time. I worked with brilliant visual thinkers that had lots of patents, that owned big metalworking shops, and they built equipment for me. Those kids are playing video games in the basement today, and I think we need to get shop classes back in. And then I've seen bad situations where the special ed kids weren't allowed to take shop. Well, back when I was working in heavy construction, the special ed kids owned the shops. But they're all retiring out. They're not getting replaced. Somebody who's on the autism spectrum like me, we'd be really great at fixing elevators. And I've been on a lot of questionable elevators. I was just reading an article this morning about all the factories that are being built for electric batteries and for semiconductors. Somebody has to fix that equipment. That's where my kind of thinker can really excel. And so then the mathematicians, they invent the chemical processes. I get a magazine called Chemistry and Engineering News. I can't believe the magic chemists can do. But the thing is, you need both kinds of minds. There's some of the nonverbals, they get stock shelves in a store. And they get satisfaction out of doing work that's real, doing stuff that is real. There's another case where there was an institutionalized man, and he was an older adult. He was taught how to make coffee. Then he worked at a gas station, and he was the coffee man. And he was very proud of that. And then when he retired, he was the coffee man for the nursing home. You see, that gave him meaningful work, and people appreciated his coffee because he actually cleaned out the coffee pot, and he made good coffee, and people appreciated that. And that it cost time to train him to do it. But a lot of the nonverbals are underestimated, and a lot of nonverbals can learn how to type independently.
Part of some of the challenges, and I can admit to being a parent, being in that boat, is the fear that when the child goes into the store, they may do something that may, cause people to stare. What encouragement or advice would you give parents to get over that fear, to allow that?
Well, a lot of parents I see cannot let go. Like, I'll be at a conference, and the parent will come up with their child to get a book signed, and the mom asks to get the book signed. This is a situation where the child should ask me to get the book signed. You're right there. Do little shopping things. I see things like you're pumping gas, the mom's pumping gas, send the child into the store to buy something, and pick a gas station where you can see into the shop. There's plenty of them.
For years, for those who don't have children who are neurodivergent, but I wanted to be a support to this community. What words, advice would you give them? How can they be a source of support?
Well, you could be a shopkeeper that'd be willing to work with them. That'd be one way you could. You could do respite so the parents could have some time off. Some of the parents with some individuals that need 24/7 supervision. Parents need to have some time off. That's something you could do. You see, I think about specific things that you could do. You see, the verbal thinker thinks, okay, how can I contribute to the community? Where I tend to see pictures of specific stuff that somebody could do. A grandmother, who, especially one that used to be an elementary school teacher, could work with a little one. Well, first of all, people need to ask for help. That's the big mistake. They won't ask for help. Okay, I've done a lot of talks in low-income areas. I said, go to your church and ask for help. That's your support group. Or you're in some other situation. I'm seeing students in college flunk out of classes because they don't ask for help soon enough.
Right.
I've talked to a lot of the disability officers. That's the #1 problem. They need to, when I had a terrible time in math, I failed my first math quiz, I asked for help and I got tutoring. And I did it when I failed the first test.
We're so grateful for your time this
It
morning.
was really wonderful to be here, and I'll sign off now. And thank you so much.